Engineer Fide Tokiria, thank you for joining us on this episode of Question Time. Now, let's look at public expectations now on the rail sector. So much anxiety now. With $300 million earmarked by the federal government for the revamping of this sector, what is the exact roadmap for the development of the Nigerian rail sector in this current administration?
The present government is committed to achieving the 25 years strategic plan for railway modernization, which the first stage we just succeeded in it, commissioning on the 26th. That segment is between Kaduna and Abuja for about 186.5 kilometers. We started on the 27th commercial operation and it's doing well. We started with about 2,300 passengers. In the third week, it rose to about 6,000 plus. That one was overshooting the seating capacity. We have to control it, and by the week that ended last week, Tuesday, we had about 5,700 passengers because we have to limit the passengers to the number of seats we have. The current budget is to do the construction between Lagos, Ibadan, Calabar, Port Harcourt, and the counterpart funding has been made available by government. Just waiting for the Chinese Exim Bank to make good their own side so that construction will start.
When you talk of counterpart funding, how much exactly are we looking at here?
Lagos to Kano is about $8.5 billion, which the Nigerian government have to provide 15%. And Lagos Calabar is about $13.5 billion. The minister just succeeded in renegotiating and bringing down with less than $800 million. So the counterpart funding we are providing is 15%, while the Exim Bank loan will be secured. It's about 85%. It's 85%. So with this, the segments is Lagos, Ibadan, Calabar, Port Harcourt. In the next year budget, it will be Lagos, it will be Ibadan, Ilorin, Port Harcourt, Benin, and then Kaduna, Kano. So by so doing, then with the next 10 years, the whole state capital will be captured, and the production centers will be captured with the standard gauge track.
It's quite worrisome how we got to this point, with the rail sector merely gasping for breath. What are the challenges? Because the rail sector is one of the oldest institutions in Nigeria. What are the major setbacks that you have experienced so far in the course of administering the rail sector?
The rail infrastructure development is not a cheap thing. And for you to break even, you have to cover a wide range of track. You have to be able to capture the production center where you have the freight. And it's also we are providing service so that our citizens can move comfortably, safely, and secured. So we don't measure the gain of infrastructure development like the rail in Naira and Kobo. But when we develop the system to the extent it can break even and it can now put the money back to further development. The colonial master developed the railway from the hinterland to the port to enable them move raw materials. That is from Kano to the port, Lagos Seaport, and from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt Seaport. But there was a little gap in funding, and the system deteriorated. Let's say about 7 years back, the 25 years plan was kick-started by, first of all, rehabilitating the old track so that the narrow gauge can move passengers and freight, which we are doing presently. As of today, we move about 20 trains within Lagos of passengers, and we move trains from Lagos Apapa Port to Zaria, Kaduna, and Kano. that's container, pipe, and fertilizer. We also move for Lafarge cement, both from Wekoro and Gombe, because we still have problem leaking to the side in Atashaka. So we are trying to, I can tell presently, we have a lot of customers coming up so that we can move for them.
Still on looking at how we got to this point on the emergency state of the rail sector, could you update us on the Senate probe on the alleged misappropriation of millions of dollars for the development of the rail sector in previous administration?
It's an ongoing investigation to really check so that Nigerians will know the truth of what happened to the funding of the rail rehabilitation. And it is ongoing, and to the best of our knowledge, we have provided answers to the question being asked, contracts we are given, and we are supervised by consultants and our engineers. And you know, when people hear million, their ears are wide open. So it's now for the investigative committee to establish which one is to establish the case of fact and fictions. I think at the end we know which one is fact and fiction, because I cannot predict, or I cannot just know what they will come out with.
Now, when you talk of counterpart funding, have you factored the issue of maintenance and repairs?
Like the one that will be almost completed, the one we are running. There is, I think, in the contract, a 5 years maintenance agreement on the track. And the same way, the coaches that came in have a 2 years maintenance agreement attached to the contract of manufacturing, so that our people, our engineers, our technicians can learn from the experts who are doing this work. Don't forget, even the track construction, the Nigerians have been engaged. I can say about 80% of people doing the work are Nigerians.
Is this a viable economic option for considering the investment on the rail sector?
Yeah, it's viable in the sense that people must move if you want your commerce, economy, and industry to